Welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're diving into a really interesting piece for anyone out there planning events, especially incentive trips.
hmm
The source we've got is an article from Unitour Maroc called Marrakech, the ultimate incentive destination, 10 must-do activities with a DMC.
Right. Quite a title. Sets high expectations.
It really does. And our mission here is to, unpack this, go beyond just the list and pull out the key insights.
What's the real takeaway for planners?
Exactly. Why these specific activities? And crucially, how can you, the event planner listening, actually use these ideas to make your own event agendas, well, unique, high quality, and really memorable?
Because the article definitely positions Marrakech like that. Not just a destination, but the ultimate one for incentives.
Premier, absolutely. That's the word they use.
Yeah, and it hits hard on why. It suggests companies choose it because they want to give their team something genuinely different, something exotic even.
Something they'll actually remember, not just another corporate trip.
Precisely. And it frames Marrakech as perfect because it offers this huge variety of activities specifically geared towards engaging a team, getting them involved on a deeper level.
And there's one thing that keeps popping up again and again in the article.
Ah, the DMC part.
Yes. Doing these activities with the DMC, it's mentioned constantly.
It is. They present the destination management company as fundamental, not just helpful, but essential.
Like you can't really do it properly without one.
That's the strong implication. The DMC is the partner who crafts that truly custom itinerary, the one that avoids the standard tourist traps and really connects the team with the place.
Creates those lasting impressions. That's the goal, right?
It's the goal of a good incentive trip, yeah. And the source says the DMC is how you unlock the city's potential for that, especially for a group. Local expertise is key.
Okay, so before we get into the list of 10, let's just take a step back. Why Marrakech itself? What does the article say makes the city such a powerful backdrop for these kinds of events?
Well, it starts with location right in the heart of Morocco. But it quickly moves to character. It talks about this incredibly rich cultural heritage.
You see it everywhere, presumably.
That's the idea. Stunning architecture, a really vibrant atmosphere. The source emphasizes that feeling you get as soon as you arrive. It's palpable.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? Mentions the charming, narrow alleys, almost maze-like, I imagine.
Labyrinthine, yeah. And the bustling markets, the historic sites. It's very sensory. The sights, the sounds, the smells.
It definitely comes across that way.
And that mix, the sensory overload, the history, the culture. That's why, according to the source, Marrakech has shot up in popularity. It's become one of the top incentive spots globally.
So it's not just pretty, it has depth. And importantly, the support structure, like the DMCs, to handle groups properly.
Exactly. It's got the character, the intensity, and the professional infrastructure.
Right. So foundation laid. Marrakech is dynamic, culturally rich, visually stunning, almost tailor-made for group impact if you partner correctly.
With those local experts, yeah.
Okay, so let's tackle this list. 10 must-do activities for an incentive trip. We'll go one by one, but let's really unpack them, thinking about what the source highlights and what it means for you, the planner. What's the value? What are the logistics? Always with that DMC angle in mind.
Sounds good. These are presented as like the building blocks from a local expert, Unitour Maroc. Ideas to get you beyond the generic.
Perfect. Number 1, exploring the vibrant souks of the Medina. Straight away, the source calls the souks a labyrinth. That tells you something, right?
It definitely does. Complexity, maybe a bit chaotic, but in a good way. It says the streets are filled with colorful goods, including spices, textiles, and pottery.
Okay, but let's dig into colorful goods. What does that really mean in the souks?
Well, think about it visually. Towering cones of spices, deep reds, bright yellows, earthy browns, saffron, turmeric, cumin. You can almost smell them, right?
Oh.
And textiles everywhere. Bolts of silk, rough Berber carpets, leather bags, hand-painted ceramics, shimmering lanterns. It's an assault on the senses in the best possible way. The description captures that immediate, overwhelming richness.
So it's way more than just shopping. The source talks about cultural value, discovering the traditional Moroccan way of life, and interacting with locals. How does that interaction actually happen, according to the article?
Well, this is where the guide, the one the DMC arranges, becomes absolutely critical. Trying to navigate that maze as a group, especially if you don't know the customs, it could be stressful.
Yeah, I can see that.
The guide smooths everything out. They help the group move comfortably, but more importantly, they facilitate those interactions. Maybe they take you to a hidden artisan workshop, see someone actually making the goods,
Oh, that's cool.
right? A metal worker, maybe a weaver, or they help with understanding the whole bargaining thing. It's not just about price, it's a bit of a social ritual. The guide bridges that cultural gap, makes it feel authentic and respectful, not awkward.
Which leads right into the DMC's specific role highlighted, arranging a guide to take you to the most interesting parts and help with bartering for souvenirs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is super practical for you as a planner. A DMC uses vetted guides who know the souks inside out. They know the best spots, the reputable sellers, the history.
Not just someone who knows the way.
No, they provide context, they explain things. And yes, they guide you on the bartering, how to do it politely, what's fair. For you, the planner, using a DMC here means safety, yes, but also guaranteeing an authentic managed experience. It turns a potentially chaotic walk into a curated cultural dive.
So, thinking like a planner, the souks offer, well, it's almost team building, navigating that together with a guide, plus unique shopping, obviously, and that real taste of local life, but crucially made accessible and frankly safer through the DMC.
It's active immersion, yeah.
Yeah.
Very engaging.
Okay, moving to number 2. Experience a traditional Moroccan hammam. Described as a traditional Moroccan steam bath, what's the outcome the source suggests here?
The main words are relaxing and rejuvenating, which, let's face it, on an incentive trip that might be pretty packed.
Definitely needed.
Right. Offering a moment of genuine relaxation and wellness is huge. It shows you're thinking about attendee well-being, giving them a chance to properly switch off and recharge.
And the DMC's role. They book a private hammam session for your team, complete with massages and other treatments. Private seems key.
Absolutely key for a group. Public hammams are part of life there. But for an international incentive group, privacy equals comfort and exclusivity. A private session makes it their experience.
And the massages and treatments part?
That signals it's the full experience, not just the steam room. We're talking the traditional exfoliation with black soap and a Kessa glove, maybe a clay wrap, massage with argan oil. It's a whole ritual.
Sounds amazing.
It is. And the DMC ensures the place is top-notch, clean, handles the scheduling for everyone, and makes sure it's culturally comfortable for your group. They manage the whole spa-like aspect.
So for you as a planner, this is a perfect contrast to, say, the souks or quad biking. It's uniquely Moroccan, indulgent, focused on wellness, great after a busy day or before a big evening event. It adds that layer of luxury and local culture you don't get from just a hotel spa.
It's a different kind of cultural connection through tranquility and physical renewal. Very memorable.
Number 3 definitely aims for the wow factor. Take a hot air balloon ride over the Atlas Mountains. The setting alone, the Atlas Mountains, breathtaking views.
Yeah, the source calls it a unique way to experience this natural wonder. The whole point is that bird's eye view, that shift in perspective.
And it gets specific about the views.
It does. It mentions seeing these snow-capped peaks, valleys, and villages from above. So you get that dramatic contrast, the flat plains around Marrakech, then boom, these huge mountains, maybe with snow and tiny villages tucked away. It really sells the scale and grandeur of the landscape.
Something you just can't grasp from the ground.
Exactly.
Now, the article just says the DMC facilitates the ride. For something like this, facilitating must cover a lot of ground, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is where DMC expertise is non-negotiable. Facilitating isn't just booking. It's coordinating super early transport to the launch site, often way out of the city.
Before dawn, usually.
Right. It's working with trusted operators with impeccable safety records, certified pilots, maintain balloons, that's paramount. They handle the weather contingencies. These flights are very weather dependent.
So they manage cancellations or rescheduling.
And they often arrange the post-flight breakfast celebration, which is part of the whole tradition. Basically, the DMC takes on all the complexity and safety responsibility for this high-stakes activity.
So for the event planner, this delivers that huge impact, that unforgettable wow. As the source suggests, it's perfect for celebrating success or as a spectacular kickoff, a real bucket list moment that people will definitely talk about and share photos of.
It's adventure, but mainly it's about that incredible visual spectacle, a total change of pace.
Okay, let's shift to the evening. Number 4, enjoy a dinner at a palace with live entertainment. The source connects this directly to Marrakech being known for its palaces and rich culture.
Sets the scene nicely, doesn't it? The experience is described as dinner in a palace, specifically complete with traditional Moroccan music and dance performances.
So it's the whole package, food, setting, culture.
Exactly. Dining in a historic palace gives that amazing sense of place, that grandeur. And the live traditional entertainment adds the cultural layer, Makes it festive, immersive. You're not just eating, you're having a very Moroccan evening.
And the DMC's role, booking a private dinner at one of the city's most exquisite palaces. Again, that access seems crucial.
Crucial is the word. This is a huge DMC value add. Many of the truly exquisite palaces aren't just public restaurants. They might be private homes or small boutique hotels or historic sites not usually set up for big private dinners.
So the DMC unlocks those doors.
They have the connections, the local know-how. They handle negotiations, site checks, transforming the space, arranging the right kind of high-quality entertainment. They make sure it is one of the most exquisite, like the source says.
So for you, the planner, this is a top contender for a gala dinner, a welcome night, a really special closing event. It screams luxury, cultural authenticity, exclusivity. It uses the city's best assets, architecture, culture, for an unforgettable night.
It blends history, performance, and that exclusive feel. Very sophisticated.
All right, let's switch gears completely, from palaces to dust. Number 5, take a quad bike tour in Agafay Desert location. The Agafay Desert near Marrakech.
And the source immediately calls it an adrenaline-pumping adventure. No ambiguity there. This is the active, thrilling option. Gets the heart rate up.
A definite contrast to the palace dinner.
Totally. And it describes the terrain, undulating sand dunes, rugged terrain, and barren plains. It emphasizes that raw, natural, maybe slightly challenging desert landscape. Very different from the city.
And the experience itself.
It focuses on the feeling. Feel the thrill of the wind. Take in the awe-inspiring views of the golden desert vistas, immersing yourself in the unique ambiance. It's physical, the speed, the movement, it's visual, the vastness, the colors, and it's atmospheric, that unique desert quiet. The goal being exploring that raw beauty and creating unforgettable memories, according to the source.
Okay, DMC facilitates again. What does that mean for quad biking in the desert for a group? Safety must be huge.
Huge. Facilitating here means ensuring the operator uses well-maintained quads suitable for the group, providing experienced guides who really know the terrain and have emergency training, arranging transport out to the desert, which can be remote, handling safety briefings, helmets, all the gear.
Making sure nobody gets lost or hurt.
Exactly. And often they'll add a little cultural touch like a mint tea break in a Berber tent or something similar. For you, the planner, the DMC is managing significant risk here, taking a group off-road into a tough environment.
So, this one clearly targets attendees looking for excitement. It's a great contrast on the itinerary, generates high-energy moments, super shareable photos and videos. It really leverages that unique desert landscape just outside the city.
Right. It's about exhilaration, physical engagement, a different kind of team bonding through shared adventure.
Number 6 brings us back to culture, but through taste. Attend a cooking class and learn Moroccan cuisine. The source notes, Moroccan food is famous for rich flavors and unique spices.
And it suggests a private cooking class for your team. The main outcome, learning how to cook traditional Moroccan dishes. Super practical, right? You get a real skill.
Something you can actually take home and use.
Yeah. And it's presented as a great way to understand the culture through its food, the ingredients, the methods. Plus, the source explicitly mentions it's a great way to bond with your colleagues.
Because cooking together is naturally collaborative.
It really is. You're chopping, stirring, maybe laughing about mistakes. It's very interactive and relaxed. And then there's that personal win. Bring back some new skills to impress your family and friends. That extends the value beyond just the trip itself.
A lasting takeaway. The DMC's role is booking the private class. What's involved there?
Finding the right place, basically. A reputable cooking school or maybe a private chef set up for groups, ensuring it fits the group size, handling any dietary needs, making sure the facilities are good, the ingredients are sourced. Often they make sure everyone gets hands-on time, maybe individual stations or small teams.
And you get to eat what you make.
Oh, absolutely. That's the payoff.
Yeah.
Enjoying the meal together is part of the whole bonding experience. The DMC orchestrates all that to make it smooth, fun, and educational.
So planners, this is a fantastic team-building activity. It's hands-on, cultural, fun, educational, and you get a delicious meal out of it. Plus, that tangible skill ticks a lot of boxes.
Definitely. It's cultural immersion you can taste. Always popular.
Okay, changing pace again, something more serene, visually focused. Visit the Majorelle Garden and Yves Saint Laurent Museum. The garden sounds beautiful. Botanical garden featuring exotic plants, fountains, and a vibrant blue villa. And the YSL connection is mentioned.
Yes, the description really leans into the aesthetics, the beauty of the plants, the sound of water, and that incredibly famous Majorelle blue villa. It was designed by Jacques Majorelle,
Uh.
then later saved and restored by Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Berger. So it's got this lovely tranquility, but also this cool history tied to art and fashion.
And the museum.
Features YSL's work, costumes, and artwork. So directly links to the designer's legacy and his love affair with Marrakech.
The DMC role. Book a private tour of the garden and the museum. Why private?
It just elevates the experience for a group. These places can get crowded. A private tour means a dedicated guide giving you context about Majorelle, about YSL, about the plants. In the museum, they can explain the significance of the pieces.
More insight than just wandering around.
Exactly. A DMC might even arrange access slightly outside public hours for a more exclusive feel. They handle the tickets, transport, and ensure the guide is engaging and knowledgeable for your specific group.
So for event planners, this offers sophistication, beauty, a bit of calm. It's a nice counterpoint to the more high-energy activities. Appeals to people interested in nature, art, design, fashion. A lovely, relatively relaxed interlude.
It's a dose of tranquility and inspiration, connecting to both nature and artistic history.
Number 8 brings us back into the city streets, but with a classic vibe. Take a horse-drawn carriage tour of the city, described as a romantic way to see the city.
Yeah, romantic, charming, leisurely, that's the feel. The route mentioned is riding through the narrow streets of the Medina, past historic sites, and under the walls of the city.
So you're seeing things, but from a different perspective than walking.
Totally different. You're up a bit higher, moving at a gentle pace, open to the sounds and smells. It gives you a nice overview, lets you soak in the atmosphere and see key landmarks without much effort.
It's less about deep diving into one spot, more about the overall feel.
Exactly. The DMC facilitates this by arranging reliable carriages. You want well-maintained ones with healthy horses, right?
Yeah.
They coordinate the route, maybe ensure the drivers know a bit about what you're seeing, and handle the start and end logistics for the group.
For planners, this seems like a flexible option. Good for smaller groups maybe, or as a pleasant transition between things. A nice, relaxed way to get oriented or just enjoy the scenery. It has that kind of classic tourism feel.
A gentle, picturesque route. Low exertion, high charm factor.
Okay, number 9 takes us back to the desert, but for a very different vibe than quad biking. Experience a private dinner in the desert. The source uses words like mystical and enchanting for the desert setting.
Yeah, the focus shifts entirely here. It's all about the atmosphere. It's pitched as a unique way to experience this natural wonder, and the key is private dinner. Not just being there, but owning the space for the evening.
And the description is powerful. Dine under the stars, surrounded by the silence and beauty of the desert. That sounds incredible.
It really does. It conjures up images of, total tranquility, no city noise, maybe an amazing starry sky without light pollution. That feeling of being somewhere truly special and remote. It's aimed squarely at the emotions.
This feels like a potential highlight of a trip.
Definitely positioned that way. And the DMC's role in facilitating this
Yeah.
is probably the most complex logistical challenge on the whole list.
Really? Why?
Think about it. You're staging a high-quality dinner for potentially a large group in the middle of nowhere. You have to transport everything. Tables, chairs, linens, glassware, plates, a full kitchen setup often, all the food and drinks, chefs, servers, lighting, maybe generators, or hundreds of lanterns, plus entertainment like musicians or dancers, and bathrooms.
Wow, okay. Never thought about the bathrooms.
You have to. The DMC manages site selection, the entire setup, the catering, the staffing, the ambiance creation through lighting and music, and critically safe and comfortable transport for your guests out there and back, potentially over rough terrain in the dark. It's a massive operation.
So, for you, the planner, this is the ultimate high-impact evening. Unbelievable exclusivity, using that stunning natural backdrop. Perfect for a farewell dinner, a major celebration, an experience people will genuinely never forget. It's leveraging the location to the absolute max.
Creates a profound sense of occasion, yeah.
Yeah.
A really powerful memory.
And finally, number 10. This one feels potentially the most culturally immersive. Attend a traditional Moroccan wedding, described as a joyous and colorful affair.
And it highlights the key elements. Filled with music, dancing, and feasting. It captures that vibrant celebratory energy. Moroccan weddings are big, multi-part events, super rich in tradition, clothing, music, food. It conveys that lively, festive atmosphere.
Now, the DMC's role is very specific. Book a private tour of a wedding ceremony and experience this cultural event firsthand. That sounds tricky.
Extremely tricky and requires immense sensitivity. You can't just buy tickets to someone's wedding. This isn't a public performance.
Right, so what does private tour likely mean here?
It likely means A DMC with very strong, trusted local connections might be able to arrange for a group to respectfully observe certain parts of a wedding celebration. Perhaps being invited during a specific phase where external guests are common, or maybe attending a carefully curated demonstration of wedding traditions designed for visitors, rather than intruding on a real family's private event.
So it needs careful handling.
Extremely careful. The DMC's role here is paramount, acting as a cultural bridge, ensuring total respect, managing expectations. It's about accessing something deeply private in an appropriate way.
So planners, this offers potentially profound cultural immersion, a vibrant, festive experience unlike anything else. But, as the source implies by stressing the DMC, this needs expert navigation. It's likely about observing specific rituals or a curated experience, not crashing a party. Potentially incredibly memorable because it's so authentic and rare, but only possible with top-tier DMC support.
It's a unique window into the heart of local culture and celebration. Very special if done right.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The source finishes by doubling down. Marrakech is the perfect spot for these unique, memorable incentive experiences.
Right. And it points back to that sheer range we just discussed. You've got souks, hammams, balloons, quads, cooking, gardens, carriages, palace dinners, desert dinners, even weddings. It really stresses that variety, something to suit every taste, is the phrase used.
Which is important for a diverse group on an incentive trip.
Absolutely. And that it loops back one last time to the DMC, saying with their help, you can build that custom itinerary that really clicks with the team, creates those lasting memories. These 10 aren't just fun activities. The source presents them as tools for engagement and impact.
So for you listening, the event planner, the big takeaway is this. The article from a local expert, Unitour Maroc, gives you a concrete playbook. These are specific, vetted ideas for high-quality original activities that really tap into what makes Marrakech special: the culture, the landscape, the vibe.
They're a starting point to get you beyond the usual tourist stuff, and they highlight how a DMC makes these ambitious ideas actually happen and happen well.
So, reflecting on this whole list, the specific blend the source chose as the must-dos, you've got culture, adventure, relaxation, luxury, exclusivity. What does this particular mix tell us about what makes an incentive trip ultimate and memorable, according to this source's perspective?
That's a great question. Based purely on this list, it seems the ultimate experience isn't just one thing. It's about the deliberate curation of contrasts, maybe?
Contrasts, how so?
Well, you have the hustle of the souks versus the quiet of the garden, the adrenaline of quad biking versus the serenity of a hammam, the ancient traditions of a palace dinner versus the modern thrill of a balloon ride.
Ah, okay, so it's the interplay between different kinds of experiences.
Exactly. The source seems to imply that real memorability comes from that variety, that dynamic mix. It's about hitting different notes: adventure, culture, relaxation, exclusivity, maybe catering to different preferences within the group.
Ensuring everyone has their wow moment.
Perhaps. It suggests the ultimate trip is a narrative woven from diverse, high-quality experiences, all smoothly executed and made authentic by that essential local DMC partner. It's about delivering a whole spectrum of memorable moments.
That feels like a really useful way to think about it, not just ticking boxes, but crafting a journey with different textures.
Right, experiencing the different facets of Marrakech in a structured, meaningful way.
Well, we've certainly taken a deep dive into this Unitour Maroc article today. We've looked at Marrakech through these 10 activities, always thinking about the event planner perspective and that crucial DMC role.
Hopefully this has sparked some concrete ideas for you, especially if Marrakech is on your list. These are solid, vetted concepts to build on for creating something really special.
And as always, we definitely recommend checking out the source material yourself if you want even more detail. Unitour Maroc's perspective as a local expert is really valuable.
And maybe keep pondering that idea, how the mix of experiences, the blend of adventure, culture, relaxation, and exclusivity could be the secret sauce for your next truly unforgettable incentive program.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. If you found this helpful, if you enjoyed it, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating.
Wherever you listen: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcast, Deezer. Those ratings really help other planners find the show.
They really do. Thanks again for tuning in.
Until next time.